So good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. A warm welcome to all of you from WHO. My name is Sophie, and I'm here with my colleague Elise. We are both happy to give you an overview of WHO procurement processes and our procurement plans for 2021. You sure want to know who you're listening to today. So I'm Sophie Laroche. I'm QA officer in the Department of Global Supply. Elise?
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. My name is Elise Paquetet. Within the supply department of WHO, I'm in charge of the procurement of services and of the training at global level. Today, with my colleague Sophie, I will share with you some of the main aspects of WHO procurement policies and processes. I will start briefly showing you a chart of the main offices and entities of the UN system, United Nations. As you can see here on the right-hand side of this chart, in this little red box, WHO is one of the specialized agencies of the United Nations, like the Food and Agriculture Organization or UNESCO, for example. Specialized agencies are autonomous organizations whose work is coordinated through the ECOSOC at intergovernment level and the CEB at the inter-secretariat level.
So many of the people attending this presentation are experienced suppliers to WHO, and we also welcome potential new suppliers. So firstly, a few words about the main work area of WHO. We have 6 areas of expertise, providing leadership, shaping health research, setting norms and standards, evidence-based policies, providing technical support to countries, and emergencies. However, this is the area of expertise number 6, where procurement plays its major role. So in the box of emergency, the last one. Elise?
Indeed, Sophie, thank you very much. And to deliver its mandate and areas of expertise, WHO employs 8,000 staff members in its 6 regional offices, headquarters in Geneva, and 149 country offices. As you can see, 50% of our staff works in countries to advise ministries of health and other sectors on public health issues and provide support to plan, implement and monitor health programs all over the world and in close collaboration with other United Nations agencies, non-government organizations, foundations, the private sectors and affected communities. WHO specialists are dedicated to the implementation of WHO's programs to improve essential prevention, treatment and healthcare services. To enable the work of public health professionals across countries and regions, WHO procurement experts ensure the supply of the necessary goods and services. All WHO procurement experts operate on the same guiding principles of interest of WHO, which means that all procurement processes and acquisitions must always be in the best interest and consistent with the objectives and expected results of WHO. Value for money, which means obtaining the best combination of technical and commercial proposals to meet WHO's requirements and to ensure an optimal impact. Effective competitions through proper planning, market research, formal tender processes and due diligence, fairness and integrity to allow for transparent competition among prospective bidders. For WHO, it is essential that all prospective providers be treated fairly and equally. As part of this principle, WHO expects its providers to adhere to the principles and meet the standards set forth in the UN Supplier Code of Conduct. And last principle is the environmental concerns, because WHO subscribes to a green procurement policy. So if you want to know more about those principles and their implementation by WHO staff, you can go on YouTube and see our video. The link is can be found here on our presentation. Over to you, Sophie.
Thank you, Elise. So this slide shows the PO spent by category for 2018-2019. On the left-hand side, there is a list of categories that is displayed. And on the axis, the expenditure in US dollar. Note at the bottom here, almost equal with bulk medicine and vaccine, we have our kit, our emergency health kit, representing 90% of this 89 million. Between vaccine and medicines here, we have approximately 60% for vaccine and 40% for medicines. Secondly, note that for 2020-2021, some of the category may increase in expenditure due to COVID-19, namely diagnostic and laboratory. Next slide, please. So as WHO procurement is mainly to support emergencies, we are not surprised to see almost half of the expenditure directed to the Eastern Mediterranean region. You can also see an important budget spent at headquarters, almost 24%. Those are procurement by the HQ emergency team to support country worldwide, especially during 2018-2019, it was to support DRC during the Ebola outbreak. Next slide, please. So what is our procurement activities for 2021? First, to renew LTA for emergency health kit for our non-communicable diseases kit. Then we will have some tender on medical devices. We will have some tender on essential medicines, bulk. And of course, we will have related COVID item, LTA, mostly PPE, laboratory equipment, and biomedical equipment. So these tenders are restricted tenders, meaning they will happen with pre-selected suppliers. Sometimes selection of suppliers is done through an expression of interest. Sometimes is really pre-selected suppliers and bidders. Next one.
Thank you, Sophie. As far as I'm concerned, I will now give you a brief overview, really, of WHO procurement policies. So you might, as you will see, the first important characteristics of WHO procurement is that it's very much decentralized, especially as regards services procurement, which means that contrarily to other UN agencies, each and every department or office might conduct their own purchases. It is different for goods, though, because a lot of products are purchased through a catalog established at global level. Procurement for emergency is also, for its most part, centralized in the emergencies division in HQ and the Eastern Mediterranean region. As I said previously, we conduct tender processes as much as possible. Tender processes are mandatory for all procurement above 25K. We recommend to our colleagues in the technical units a wide outreach, which encompasses publication in the technical units web pages and also advertisement in the United Nations Global Marketplace. For this purpose, we strongly recommend that all our suppliers register in the United Nations Global Marketplace, UNGM. This will enable them to be informed of the largest part of WHO tenders and to participate in high-value tenders. Next. Now you might wonder, how do they select their suppliers, those WHO people? So just what is very important for us is the eligibility of our suppliers and bidders. The bidders are expected to adhere to the UN Suppliers Code of Conduct. This is, for us, it's key, and they shall not appear in the UN or WHO ineligibility list or on a WHO donor sanctions list. The specifications then can be found in our tender documents, and then we evaluate the proposals received in line with the specifications published. Overall, goods bidders are selected on the principles of best value for money, and services bidders are selected in line with the criteria displayed in the tender documents. Once all bidders have all bidders, so apologies. Once one or several bidders, actually, it can be only one bidder for a tender process. Once they have been recommended for contract award by a panel, the whole tender process is submitted for review to the contract review committee, either in HQ or in the regional office. This process is applicable to all high-value purchases, except for emergency procurement, of course, for which the high-value contracts are submitted to the CRC, but post facto. Over to you, Sophie.
Thank you, Elise. So in addition to what Elise just presented, there are technical requirements that are in addition to this procurement process for health products, which is summarized in the QA policy for procurement of essential medicine and other health products. So I really encourage you to have a look at it. It describes what are the criteria for WHO purchases, and it covers medicines, vaccines, medical devices. Next slide. So becoming a WHO supplier for health product. So there are different categories. So let's begin with distributors. So as mentioned earlier, distributors need to be pre-selected to participate to tenders for health product, not the larger range of product that WHO is purchasing. So on the bottom here, I put the link where you can access this page, become a supplier. Then you will find a wholesale distributor information questionnaire that you can fill in to enroll in the pre-selection and then being able to participate to tenders. Next slide. For manufacturers, it's a bit different. As described in the quality assurance policy for procurement, the preferred product, if available, are WHO pre-qualified products. So becoming, for manufacturers, having a product that is pre-selected, pre-qualified with WHO give you an advantage because you will be directly contracted. So here is the new web page for pre-qualification. I also indicate the link to access this web page. Next slide. So for medicines pre-qualification, in the coming year, the pre-qualification program will open to new therapeutic classes. So it will be no longer restricted to TB, HIV, malaria, but it will open to non-communicable diseases products, which is quite large and might interest some of you. So the presentation of the different pages are exactly the same. On the right-hand side, you can find information for manufacturers, regulatory agency, or procurement agency, and laboratory also. Next slide. It is exactly the same display and the same information that you can find for IVDs. See? So I will let you go through this different pages to familiarize with it. Sorry. So for regular pre-qualification process, but also for specific products, WHO can launch expression of interests. So it's a separate, it's not a voluntary pre-qualification dossier. It's expression of interest when we are searching or looking for some specific medicine or vaccines, and it was the case for COVID-19. So you will also find on this pre-qualification page the expression of interest. Next page. So now to propose innovative medical devices to WHO, suppliers can submit a dossier through the WHO survey. So on the right side, you have this WHO survey that might help COVID, but anyway, it's valid. Now it's valid for COVID-19, but it's valid for any type of innovative medical devices that you want to submit to WHO. So it's the same process for everything. But now, of course, WHO is more interested in COVID item, but you can submit anything. Next one. And this is over to you, Elise.
Thank you, Sophie. So just this is a little bit the how to go if you are not yet registered on the UNGM. We mentioned this website several times with Sophie today. The United Nations Global Marketplace is really a central place where you can see all the bits published by the different UN agencies and offices. So we encourage you to register. WHO publishes most of its tenders there. There is a very clear guide that you can access from the WHO procurement webpage. And it's quite simple. Honestly, it's and we ask that you register at basic level. Basic level is very simple, and it's for free, of course. And again, I encourage you to really go to our webpage, WHO Procurement, and see the guidance document.
Yes. Okay, and so thank you everyone. And if you need additional information, don't hesitate to send us an email at procurement@who.ent. And I think Elise, this web address is also on our website.
It is indeed.
Okay.
Thank
Great.
you very much.
Thank you all.
And Sophie, it was great to give information, and indeed we are very happy to answer your messages. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Bye.